The arrival in the year 3025, Earth was no longer like before. Tall glass towers touched the sky, flying cars moved fast in the air. And humans now lived on a planet called New Earth. But even in this future, nobody was ready for what was about to happen. One day, when the sun was shining bright and the sky was clear, a huge shadow appeared over the city. People stopped what they were doing and looked up. A giant spaceship was slowly coming down from the clouds. It was silver and shiny, with strange glowing symbols on its side. Children pointed at it. Adults looked worried. News reporters rushed to cover the scene on every screen. A breaking news alert appeared. Unknown spaceship has landed above New Earth's capital city. As the spaceship got closer, a loud humming sound filled the air. Then, with a soft thud, it landed right in the middle of the city square. A door opened slowly. A bright blue light shone from inside. Everyone waited, their hearts beating fast. Who were these visitors? What did they want? Then they appeared. A group of alien girls stepped out of the spaceship. They were beautiful. Their skin was silver. Their hair was glowing, and their eyes were bright like stars. They wore strange shining suits and walked gracefully like queens. But there was something strange about their smiles. It was not friendly. They looked around at the human men standing in the crowd and laughed quietly. One of them, who seemed like their leader, spoke in a loud voice. "We come from planet Zanara," she said. "We have heard stories about human men. They say human men are easy, so weak, so simple." Her friends giggled behind her. The humans in the crowd looked at each other. Some men looked embarrassed. Some women crossed their arms, watching carefully. A young man named David stood at the back of the crowd. He was not like other men. David was smart, quiet, and always thinking. He watched these alien girls carefully. He did not like their smile. He did not like their laughter. He whispered to himself, "Why are they really here? What do they want from us?" The alien leader continued, "We will soon begin our tests. We want to know, are human men really as easy as they say? Or, will you surprise us?" The alien girls laughed again. Their laughter felt cold. Without saying more, they turned and walked back inside the spaceship. Before the door closed, the leader looked at the humans one last time and said, "Tomorrow, we will choose our first human." Then the door shut, and the spaceship rose slowly into the air. It did not fly away. It just floated above the city like a dark cloud, watching. People began to talk. The news was everywhere. Social media was full of videos of the alien girls laughing at human men. Some men felt proud and said, "We will show them we are strong." But others felt nervous. What kind of tests are they talking about? David did not say anything. He just watched quietly and thought deeply. His mind was full of questions. That night, the sky was not peaceful. The spaceship stayed there, its lights glowing softly. People could not sleep properly. Everyone was thinking about the next day. Inside his small apartment, David sat by his window, looking at the spaceship. He remembered the alien leader's words: easy, weak, simple. David smiled a little and shook his head. "They think we are easy." "They are wrong," he said softly. But even David did not know what would happen next. The alien girls were planning something. Their real purpose was still a mystery. Far away, inside the spaceship, the alien leader was speaking to her friends. "Tomorrow, we begin. We will show these human men who is really superior. We will test their minds, their hearts, and their strength. In the end, they will obey us," she said with an evil smile. Her friends laughed again, but none of them noticed that a small camera was hidden near their table. David had planted it secretly with a drone earlier that evening. He was already watching them. So they have a plan. And so do I, David said as he watched the screen in his room. Outside, the spaceship lights blinked slowly. The city was silent. But inside every home, people were talking, wondering, and waiting. Tomorrow would not just be any day. Tomorrow, everything would change. The first test the next morning. The city was awake before sunrise. People gathered in streets, looking up at the strange silver spaceship that still floated above them. News reporters spoke quickly on TV. Today, the aliens will choose the first human for their test. No one knew what kind of test it would be. Some men felt nervous, others curious, but most tried to act brave. Then, without warning, a blue beam of light shot down from the spaceship into the city square. A soft, musical voice spoke from loudspeakers on the ship. Human men of New Earth. We have made our choice, David. The crowd gasped. David, who was standing quietly at the back, felt all eyes turned toward him. He did not move, but inside, his heart was beating fast. Why me? He thought. Before he could take a step, the blue light surrounded him and gently lifted him into the air. He floated up, higher and higher, until he disappeared inside the ship. The spaceship door closed slowly behind him, and the people below stood frozen, whispering inside the spaceship. Everything was strange and cold. The walls glowed with soft blue light. Machines hummed quietly. Strange symbols floated in the air like holograms. David stood still, watching everything. Then the alien leader appeared with her group of girls. She smiled at him, a smile that was both beautiful and dangerous. "Welcome, David," she said. "You ready for our test? This will show us how easy human men really are." David stayed calm. He looked around carefully, studying the room. "What kind of test?" he asked. The alien leader stepped closer. "A test of the mind," she said softly. "We will play games. You win. You return to Earth. You lose. You stay with us forever." The alien girls laughed quietly behind her. David nodded. "Fine, let's play," he said. The first test began immediately. A bright light flashed, and suddenly David was no longer in the spaceship. He found himself standing on a floating glass platform high above a dark ocean. Far below, glowing creatures swam in the deep water. The alien girls' voices echoed around him. "David," they said, "you must cross this bridge. But the path will change, and your mind must keep up. Can you handle it?" David took a deep breath and stepped forward. As he walked, the bridge began to shift. Parts of it disappeared, reappeared somewhere else, twisted into strange shapes. But David did not panic. He kept watching carefully, moving his feet with perfect timing. The alien girls watched from above, frowning. "He is not afraid," one of them whispered. David reached the end of the bridge and smiled. "What's next?" he asked. The next test came quickly. He was placed in a strange dark room. In front of him, a wall showed images flashing very fast. Happy pictures, sad pictures, scary pictures, all meant to confuse his emotions. "If you cry, scream, or laugh, you lose," the alien leader said. David sat down quietly and focused. He did not react. The images became faster and faster, but he kept his face calm, his mind still. After a long time, the images stopped. "Impossible," one alien girl said. "Human men are supposed to be weak." But David was not finished yet. The third test was a game of questions. "Answer fast," the alien leader said. "If you make one mistake, you lose." They asked him strange riddles about the stars, math puzzles, questions about human history. David answered every question correctly, without fear, without delay. Finally, the alien leader stood up. Her smile was gone. "Enough," she said. "You surprise us, David." David looked at her calmly. "You thought human men are easy. But you were wrong," he said quietly. The alien girls looked at each other. For the first time, they did not laugh. But then the alien leader leaned forward and whispered to her friends. David listened. Carefully, he heard her say, "This is only the beginning. We will test all human men soon. And when we do, they will obey." David's eyes narrowed. He realized the truth. These tests were not just games. The aliens had a secret plan to control every human man on Earth. The leader smiled again and said aloud, "David, you may go for now. But we are not finished." A blue light surrounded David once more, and he was sent gently back to Earth. The crowd cheered as they saw him return. But David did not cheer. He knew something the others did not know yet. As he stood quietly, looking up at the spaceship, he whispered to himself, "Their real plan is hidden, but I will stop them." Above him, the spaceship lights blinked, watching. The hidden agenda that night, after David returned from the alien ship, the city was buzzing with excitement. People gathered in homes, cafes, and streets, talking about David's victory. David showed them. Human men are not weak. Maybe the aliens will leave now, some said with hope. But David knew better. His mind was busy, and his heart felt heavy. He sat by his window, looking up at the spaceship, still floating above the city like a silent, silver moon. They smiled. "But their plan is not over," he whispered to himself. "They are planning something bigger." David's apartment was small, but filled with gadgets. He had hidden listening devices and drones ready. As soon as he returned home, he sent a tiny invisible drone up into the sky. Back to the spaceship. Inside the spaceship, the alien leader and her friends sat around a glowing round table. Their faces looked different now, serious, sharp, dangerous. The leader spoke first. David was clever. But that was just one man. Another alien girl said, "Yes, we have studied Earth history. Human men are emotional and weak. Soon they will obey." The alien leader smiled again. "Tomorrow, we invite all human men. We'll test them together. We will break them together." David listened carefully through his device. His eyes narrowed. So this is their real agenda. They didn't come here just to play games. They came to conquer, he thought. He sat back in his chair, thinking deeply. The next morning, the alien leader's voice filled the city again, coming from speakers everywhere. "People of New Earth," she said in a smooth, calm tone. "We invite all human men to the grand test tomorrow. If they pass, we will leave in peace. If they fail, they will belong to us forever." The crowd cheered, thinking it was just another fun challenge. Many men laughed and felt proud, ready to prove their strength again. But David knew this was not a fair game. He quickly met with his closest friends that evening, a small group of smart, quiet men who trusted David. "Listen carefully," David said in a low voice. "This is not just a test. This is a trap. They want to control all human men's minds using something hidden inside these tests." His friend Alex looked shocked. "How do you know?" he asked. David showed them a small device, a recording from inside the spaceship. They all listened to the alien leader's plan. "Tomorrow, we will activate the mind wave machine," she said in the recording. "The tests are a distraction. The real attack will be on their minds. No man will resist, and they will obey us forever." The group went silent. David stood up. "We cannot let this happen," he said firmly. "They think we are weak, but they are wrong." The friends nodded. "What's the plan?" asked another. David explained calmly. "Their weakness is emotion. Their minds are sharp, but their hearts can't handle strong feelings, courage, love, loyalty. We must show them what it means to be human. Tomorrow, during the test, That night, while the whole city slept, David and his small team prepared quietly. They practiced ways to stay calm under pressure. They prepared symbols of family, friendship, and love, things the alien girls could never understand. And above all, they promised to protect each other. As the sun began to rise, David stood on his roof, looking again at the spaceship. Tomorrow they test all human men, he thought. But tomorrow we show them we are not easy. We are stronger than they ever imagined. Far above, inside the spaceship, the alien leader watched the city through her glowing screen. Human men laugh and celebrate tonight, she whispered to herself. They have no idea. Tomorrow, they will all be mine. She smiled, but deep inside a small doubt began to grow. Why did David seem so calm? Was there something she didn't know? David's plan: the morning sky was a strange mix of bright sunlight and the shadow of the giant spaceship still floating over the city. People were excited. Some laughed, others took pictures, and many men were eager to prove themselves in the alien grand test. But David was different. While others smiled, David's mind was sharp and focused. He knew the alien secret now. This test was a trap to control every human man's mind. The alien girls were using their charm and beauty. As a mask behind their smiles was a dark plan. David sat with his small group of trusted friends, Alex, Sam, and 2 others. All of them looked serious. "We don't have much time," David said quietly. "By tomorrow, they will use their machine to control every man's mind. We must break their plan before it begins." Alex asked, "But how?" "They're stronger. They have strange powers, and that ship is watching all of us." David smiled softly, but his eyes were sharp. "They have power. But they have a weakness too. They can't understand emotions. They don't know what it means to have loyalty, love, or courage. These are human strengths. And that's what we will use." The team leaned closer as David explained the details of his plan. David's secret plan. Step 1. During the grand test, all human men must stay calm and show no fear. The alien's machine reads fear and doubt. That's how they break the mind. Step 2. David's group would carry small devices hidden in their clothes, machines that send strong emotional signals. These signals would confuse the alien mind readers. Step 3. At the exact moment when the aliens start the test, David and his friends would send these signals at full strength, memories of love, friendship, sacrifice, and kindness, feelings the aliens cannot process. Their minds will become confused, David said. They expect us to fight with strength, but we will fight with emotions. That's something they never prepared for. That evening, David's drone flew again toward the spaceship. He needed to know when the test would begin. Inside the ship, the alien leader met her council. "The human men are laughing and celebrating again," she said proudly. "They are completely fooled. Our mindwave machine will begin at 10 a.m. tomorrow. After that, they will belong to us." But her face still showed a small shadow of doubt. "Except David," she whispered to herself. "He is different." "Why?" David watched her through the hidden camera. 10 a.m., he whispered. "That's when we strike." That night, the whole city was quiet. The spaceship glowed in the sky, watching Dot inside his small apartment. David gathered his friends one last time. He held a small device in his hand, no bigger than a coin, but very powerful. "This will send memories from our hearts to their machine," he explained. "It will remind them what it means to be human. And they won't be able to handle it." Alex looked at the device carefully. "Do you think it will work?" David nodded slowly. "It must," he said. "We don't have another chance." Before going to sleep, David looked out the window one last time. "They think we are easy," he whispered. "They think we are weak. Tomorrow, they will learn they are wrong. Meanwhile, inside the alien ship, the alien leader watched David's apartment carefully on her screen. Why is he so calm? She asked herself again. One of her assistants walked in. Shall we test David again, before tomorrow? The leader shook her head. No. Let him sleep. We will win tomorrow. No human man can resist our machine, but deep inside. She felt something strange, a feeling she did not understand. Doubt the showdown begins. Morning arrived, but it didn't feel like a normal day. The sun was shining, but the giant spaceship still floated above the city, casting a long shadow. The streets were full of human men, standing in groups, looking up. Some laughed nervously. Some looked serious. In every home, on every screen, the same message flashed. The grand test starts at 10 a.m. All human men must report to the central square. At exactly 9:55 a.m., the spaceship's loudspeaker spoke again, the voice of the alien leader. Smooth and cold. Today, we will discover the truth about human men. Are they truly weak? Or have we underestimated them? She smiled inside her ship, but there was something she didn't know. David was ready. David walked calmly through the streets, his hidden device carefully tucked into his jacket pocket. His team walked beside him, Alex, Sam, and the others. None of them looked afraid. David whispered, remember, they expect fear. Show calm, they expect confusion. Show unity. Alex nodded. We're ready. At exactly 10 a.m., a bright blue beam shot down from the spaceship, covering the entire city square. Then, something strange began. The mind-wave machine activated. It was invisible. But every human man felt it. A strange, soft vibration filled their heads. Thoughts became slow. Eyes became heavy. The alien girls smiled as they watched from above, inside. The spaceship, the alien leader raised her hand. It's working, she said proudly. Look at them. They are starting to obey. Many men began to sway, confused. Some looked dazed. A few dropped to their knees. But not David. David closed his eyes for a moment and pressed the small button on his hidden device. A warm pulse spread around him. Then to Alex, then Sam, then more. This pulse was not technology. It was human emotion. Suddenly, inside their minds, the men did not feel fear. They felt love. Love for family, for friends, for their home. They remembered moments of kindness, of courage. They remembered sacrifices their ancestors made. The alien Mindwave could not fight these emotions. Inside the spaceship, the alien leader's smile disappeared. What is happening? She shouted. Her assistants checked the controls quickly. The machine is working perfectly, but their minds are resisting. Another alien girl said, this shouldn't happen. Human men are supposed to be easy to control. The alien leader looked down at the crowd and froze. In the middle of the city square, David was standing straight, his eyes open, a calm smile on his face. His friends stood strong around him, and slowly, one by one, all the other men also began to stand tall. The human men were winning. David raised his hand without speaking a word. He gave a small signal. His team activated the second part of the plan. From tiny devices hidden in their pockets, they sent memories and feelings into the alien ship itself. Waves of courage, kindness, loyalty. The alien girls gasped. Their minds, sharp but cold, could not process these warm, strong emotions. Inside their heads, everything became confused. They staggered back, holding their temples, their smiles gone. The alien leader shouted, "Stop! Stop them!" But it was too late. David looked up and spoke for the first time. His voice was strong and clear. "You thought? Human men were easy," he said, "but you never understood us. You never understood what it means to feel love, loyalty, and courage. These are our true strengths." The crowd below cheered loudly. Even men who had been dazed and weak moments ago now felt strong and proud. Inside the alien ship, chaos broke out. The alien girls argued and shouted at each other, their plan falling apart. The alien leader stared at David one last time. Her cold smile was gone. Her eyes were full of something new. Fear. Turning the tables, the city square was silent for a moment, but it was a deep, powerful silence. Above them, the spaceship was no longer calm. Its lights flashed wildly. Inside the ship, alien girls rushed around, shouting orders. Their smooth smiles were gone. Their perfect confidence had turned into confusion and panic. The alien leader stood at the center of the command room, watching the screens. On every screen, David was there. He stood tall in the middle of the crowd, calm and unshaken. All around him, human men who had once looked weak were now standing strong. Their eyes burned with courage. The alien leader clenched her fists. "How?" she whispered. How did they resist the mind wave machine? Human men were supposed to be easy. One of her assistants rushed to her side. "They are sending emotions into our ship. Feelings of love, loyalty, courage. We cannot understand these emotions. Our systems are crashing." The alien leader's face became hard. "Enough," she shouted. "Prepare me for the final challenge. I will defeat David myself." Down below, David felt the change in the air. The blue beam from the spaceship narrowed until it shined directly on him. The alien leader's voice echoed across the city. "David, you have impressed us," she said, her tone colder now. "But this ends now. I challenge you to face me, one-on-one." The crowd gasped. David's friends stepped forward. "Don't go," Alex said. "It could be a trap." David smiled calmly. "It is a trap," he said, "but I'm ready." Without fear, David stepped into the beam of light and slowly rose into the ship. Inside the alien ship, the doors opened, and David stepped into a grand room. It was circular, glowing with soft lights. Strange symbols floated in the air. At the far end stood the alien leader. Her eyes glowed bright silver now. Her long silver hair floated behind her. She looked powerful, but something in her eyes betrayed her fear. "You are brave," she said quietly. "But bravery won't save you now. This is the final test. If you lose, every human man will become mine. If you win, we leave your planet forever." David nodded. "Let's begin." The alien leader raised both hands. Suddenly, the entire room changed. David found himself standing in a strange, dreamlike world. Around him, floating platforms, endless. Stairs, mirrors showing his face, voices whispering doubts. "This is my mind arena," the alien leader said. "Here, I control everything. You will break, just like the others." But David did not panic. He closed his eyes, instead of trying to fight with strength. He fought with heart. He thought about his friends, his family, his home. He thought about laughter, kindness, and loyalty. One by one, the illusions in the alien arena began to break. The mirrors cracked and disappeared. The floating stairs crumbled. The whispering voices became silent. The alien leader's smile faded. "How?" she shouted. "How are you doing this?" David opened his eyes and said calmly, "Because you never understood us. You think we are weak because you think emotions make us easy to control, but emotions are our true strength." The alien leader fell to her knees, around her. The dream world dissolved completely. For the first time, her face showed something almost human: sadness. "We never understood you," she whispered. David stepped forward. "Now you understand," he said, gently. Go back to your planet. We don't want war. We just want peace. Back on Earth, the spaceship's lights dimmed. The blue beam disappeared. The alien girls quietly stepped back into their ship. No more laughter, no more cold smiles. The alien leader appeared one last time on the spaceship's screen. "Human men," she said softly, "you have surprised us. We were wrong." Then the spaceship rose slowly into the sky, turning toward the stars. With a flash of light, it disappeared. Final battle and twist ending. The city square was filled with cheers. Men and women celebrated together. The alien spaceship was gone, and peace had returned. Or so it seemed. David stood quietly in the middle of the crowd. Looking up at the empty sky, his friends clapped him on the back. "You did it, David," Alex said. "They're gone." But David's face stayed serious. In the far distance he had seen something before the alien ship disappeared, a small blinking light that stayed behind. "No, it's not over," he whispered. That night, while the city slept, David sat near his window. The light was still there, far away in the sky, blinking softly. Then it moved slowly. A smaller craft, almost invisible, floated down toward Earth. David grabbed his jacket and left his apartment quietly. In the empty city square, David arrived just as the small craft landed. It was not like the large spaceship before. It was smooth, dark, and silent. No crowd, no cameras. Only David stood there under the moonlight. A door opened. Out stepped the alien leader. Alone, her face was calm now. No smile, no tricks. "David," she said softly, "I came back, not for war, for truth." David narrowed his eyes. "What truth?" he asked. The alien leader stepped closer. "We tested you because we feared you," she admitted. "Our planet Sonara has no emotions. We are logical, smart, powerful, but cold. We thought emotions made humans weak, but your emotions saved you. They defeated us." David stayed silent, listening carefully. "Now," she continued, "we must learn. We need to understand what makes you strong. If we don't, our own people will fall. There is a danger greater than us coming soon, and we think it will come for Earth too." David's expression changed. "A greater danger?" he asked. "What danger?" The alien leader looked up at the stars. "There's a species far more dangerous than us," she said quietly. "They do not test, they conquer. They destroy. We thought we would control Earth, but now we know Earth may be your only hope, and ours too." David took a deep breath. "So, you want peace?" The alien leader nodded. Slowly. "Not just peace," she said, "an alliance." Twist. Suddenly, in the dark sky above them, a new shadow appeared. Larger, darker, and far more terrifying than the Xeneran ship. It moved without sound, without light, like a black hole in the sky. David felt the ground tremble beneath his feet. The alien leader whispered, "They are here, earlier than we thought." David looked around. His team was still asleep. The city was peaceful. But something far worse than the alien girls had arrived. He turned to the alien leader. "Then we fight together," he said firmly. "Human men are not easy. And we are ready."